I am back. I'm at the Santa Clara Fire Station number 2 and would love for my guest to introduce yourself today.
Thank you for having me. My name is Beverly Molina. I'm a retired Santa Clara City firefighter. I retired last year after 24 years in the fire service as a firefighter paramedic.
And now, are you?
Yes, I'm doing something in retirement.
Something in retirement. That was the sentence I was getting to.
Yes, I sit on the board of an organization, a professional organization called NorCal Women in the Fire Service.
And this is kind of why we're here as we celebrate not only Women's History Month, but just women today, particularly in non-traditional careers. I think I'm so excited to highlight the work that you do and to really understand the significance both to the women who choose to become firefighters and what that has meant for the firefighting profession. And if you don't mind, I would love to just start with, you shared a little bit earlier with your interest in getting involved in exploring this as a career. What was really the moment where you said, oh, this is for me, I'm going to be a firefighter?
You know, I had made a list was not happy with what I was doing working, had made a list, and the professions were all service oriented. And firefighter wasn't on there. Paramedic was, and I ended up talking to someone who was a paramedic. I didn't know he was also a fire captain, and he alluded to that at the end of the conversation. At the end of the conversation, he said, you know, Beverly, if you really want to be a paramedic and you're not afraid to run into a burning building, you might want to consider being a firefighter. And I remember thinking, I probably cocked my head like a little puppy does, like, what? And because I had never considered that. I don't think I had ever seen a woman firefighter at that point. I made 10 cold calls to Bay Area fire departments, actually talked to one of the first women firefighters here at Santa Clara. Every time I got off the phone, I was so impressed. And I thought, wow, they were so kind with their time, generous with their time. They loved their job. And they spoke to me at length. And after the 10th phone call, I thought, I want to be one of them. So that really started me on the journey. I went to Mission College here in Santa Clara and, took some fire science classes. I upped my athletic game. I was very, very athletic, was a competitive gymnast, but I upped my game for fire department agility. And then the rest is history.
Seems like a lot of women who gravitate to this were athletes and already very interested in being physical, being outdoors in many cases, and of course, very interested in service.
Absolutely. I think 2 qualities that we look for in the fire service.
Tell me about the ladders. You mentioned that the ladders you thought might do you in and be the end of your dream, but you ended up changing a really significant policy.
So at the beginning of my career, the first time I pulled a ladder off the back of an engine to practice for an agility test, as I had that weight of the 70 pounds on my shoulder, I thought to myself, oh, I have to not only carry this, I have to get it up. I have to throw it. And I thought, is this going to be the end of my career? Because it seemed so impossible. Firefighters here at Santa Clara were so helpful. They practiced with me. And I finally got to do the technique. At that time, we were doing a high shoulder carry. So you carry the ladder like this. If you're shorter, it's a little harder to get a ladder up. Fast forward 20 years later, been in the fire service throwing ladders. Jillian, who you met, she was a probationary firefighter. And she said, hey, Bev, did you know there's other ways to throw a ladder? And I was completely floored. I said, no, I did not. And she showed me a way, which is called a rung technique. So you don't have to reach your arms as high. You can carry it on the rungs. So if you're a shorter statured person, it makes it much easier to get the ladder up to a building. And I remember we practiced together, I went in and I said to my battalion chief at the time, hey, chief, do you care if I do this ladder throw a different way? And he was very old school. He said, I don't give a how you throw the ladder, just get it up. And he goes, let's go outside. I want to see this. And we showed it to him. He said, oh yeah, that's fine. Out of that, my captain, who was very progressive, he said, you know what, Bev, you should take this up the chain. You should tell the training division, you should make this a formal new thing in the
Mhm.
fire service. And so we did do that. Julie and I made a power presentation. We showed all the different ways to throw a ladder. She just told me just now there are 5 different ways you can throw a ladder in this
Oh my
department.
goodness.
And really the important thing about that is we aren't limiting the people who can come in and throw a ladder depending on their height, or anything else. So before, and not that it was intentional, but in the beginning of the fire service, it was probably mostly, 6 foot tall giant guys. And so they threw it a certain way. We've evolved.
Mhm.
We seek to represent our community. Because when we go on calls, we have better outcomes, just like most companies who have a diverse
Mhm.
workforce. And so the fact that we have evolved our way to throw ladders is really something that the City of Santa Clara Fire Department can be really proud of. And yes, and I'm personally proud of to have been involved in that too.
I love both the literal change that you're talking about and the ideological change, that something that may have been designed originally with men of a certain size and strength in mind could have been a complete barrier.
Absolutely. That was
and
the word.
and the intentionality of changing without lessening safety or security,
Absolutely.
changing a protocol to be more inclusive, I think is just, it's really tremendous.
Thank you. Yes.
So at this point, we're going to step into Fire Station 2. So this station is an operating fire station. It normally houses Truck 92 and our medic rig. So our ambulances are pretty spacious. We're pretty lucky. We can have the box type that allows us to be able to sit on both sides, which is great for patient care. If we need to have multiple interventions going, it's nice to be able to have access to them from both sides.
Oh yeah.
Allow multiple people to be back here working on the patient efficiently. And this is our truck. Best apparatus in the city. Not always, but a lot of times the trucks are going to have outside jobs and the engine company is going to be inside actually doing fire attack. The truck will usually be doing ventilation, forcible entry, like egress kind of stuff, and they're usually going to be on the outside of the structure or searching while the engine handles the fire itself. We got a flashlight on here. This just holds my gloves and I'm not actually wearing them. This pocket is full of some channel locks. Have these tools that kind of help strip down some stuff when you're going through vehicle extrication. You can get through some locks with these, anything we might need to tighten. And then also wire cutters. These are more of like an entrapment tool. Like if I were to get stuck somewhere and I needed to cut my way out. So those kind of stay there, so they're accessible to me. The carabiner, I actually get made fun of a lot for that thing. This to me is like a utility thing. So if I don't want to carry something, I need to like loop it through a chainsaw or something, I can have it and I'll have it here. And I use it way more than people would think. And I love it. And then this is just like a window punch and a seatbelt cutter for auto extrication. So the window punch, you would just punch kind of the lower window portion closest to the door. And it has a little, if you were to press it, it'll have a thing that like pops out and it'll break the window for us. And then the seatbelt cutter is here.
One of the, to me, few but significant downsides of your very heroic profession are the health risks. And I wonder if there are particularly higher risks for women or risks specific to women that are important to be aware of, as well as what is done to mitigate and prevent that kind of harm.
Sure. So cancers are higher in the fire service. So cancers across the board, whether they're female cancers or cancers that men get. And I actually retired because I did get breast cancer and
hopefully caught early.
And so that was great. And what the fire department has become better at, and the fire service in general has become better at educating firefighters. I mean, back in the old days, the old guys would go in, even if it was still smoky after a fire, fire's out, but there's still all this off-gassing material. It's actually the worst time to go in. And we've come a long way. You know, you have to wear your SCBA for, you know, until that stuff clears. We make sure to wipe our turnout gear off because all the carcinogens that do just come off onto the gear. The diesel exhaust from a fire engine or a fire truck is also cancer causing. So I would say to women, especially, you know, because breast cancer rates, for example, are higher in the fire service than they are in the general public. So I would say to women, you know, definitely do your mammograms, get your screenings. Many fire departments have contracted with healthcare companies that come in and screen and scan us. So I think the awareness level is better now than it was. So hopefully we will see less, better outcomes for people and less cancer in general for firefighters.
So critical.
Yeah.
We have time for just one more topic, and I would love for you to tell me about the girls' fire camp, and as an early piece, I assume, of recruiting more young women into the service.
Yes.
Tell me about camp.
So NorCal Women in the Fire Service, our biggest initiative that we work on is the girls' camp. So First Alarm Girls Plus Fire Camp is a camp for high school age campers. And our aim is to be inclusive. Our aim is to not necessarily every girl needs to become a firefighter after going to camp, but it really is showing girls and non-binary individuals a new normal, what they can do. So when they come to camp and they have the opportunity to climb an aerial ladder, to start a chainsaw, to pull a hose, to see some live fire, it really, what I like to think, it is creating a new normal for them. I know when I grew up, I didn't see any of that. So it was shocking to me that there was a thing like a woman who was a firefighter. So that is really our aim. It's a super fun day. It's a weekend. The camp is completely free. We're a nonprofit, so we rely on, you know, private donations, departments who donate grant funding, and it is a wonderful opportunity to, if you are a young teenage girl, to really engage in the tools of the trade of firefighting, teamwork, and then meet a bunch of amazing women firefighters from all over the Bay Area.
That sounds amazing. I would love to be part of helping to recruit for that. We'll definitely get the word out for you.
Thank you.
Bev, just thank you so much. Meeting you and Jillian and Penko,
yes,
Sergeant Penko.
Yes.
It was just an incredible inspiration and treat, and I'm impressed with all of you. Certainly proud of Santa Clara City Fire at large, and I hope we'll get to connect again soon. Thank you
so much.
I am back with just one more thing. I was really inspired listening to Beverly talk about the fire camp for girls and how inspiring it is for the girls who participate. Most of them, of course, won't become firefighters, but all of them have this opportunity to really build competence in really hard physical skills, confidence, and come away from that experience really feeling themselves in a new way that they can maybe do more than they thought they could. And it reminded me of a camping trip that I took when I was 20. I camped a lot, always in mixed groups of boys and girls. But I went on this one trip with just my two of my best girlfriends from college. And that trip was so significant because for the first time, we felt like we were in charge of everything, and our survival and our safety depended on us and not anybody else. And it was just 4 days, but it really kind of transformed how I see myself in many ways. I can do hard things. I can take care of myself. And decades later, that still makes a big impression. Take care.